last week we had a much-needed bye week.
Did you enjoy your little break? Did you get a little fall foliage tour? Pick up some pumpkins with the family? Maybe get a taste of apple cider? Nice. Because it's over. It's time to get back to work.
Turning the page, obviously, to a talented Pitt team that we have coming in here on Saturday.
That's right, Pittsburgh. Blue collar, Steel City. They say stuff like yins. They'd just as soon hit you as look at you.
I think of tough, I think of physical, I think of aggressive.
But the Irish are used to that.
It's a good clean hit. He's a hard guy to tackle.
We just wanted to come in and play physical as hard as possible. We wanted to come in and impose our will. We knew it was going to be a pretty game.
So forget all your frilly pumpkin spice lattes and your pretty fall colors. Saturday's game may as well be in black and white. Guys getting black and blue.
It will be a game of physicality, right? And that's when I think the challenge for our group is we have to exceed their physicality.
A strip sack fumble at the perfect time.
Xavier Watts, the big interception, now a big third down stop.
Bring your lunch pail, baby. It's time to go to work. Countdown to kickoff starts now.
Well, it'll be a great challenge for our guys to go into South Bend.
From the WNDU studios, this is 16 News Now's Countdown to Kickoff.
There's no place like home when home is the house that Rockne built. Thanks for tuning in to Countdown to Kickoff. I'm Terry McFadden.
I'm Tricia Sloma, joined by WHME Sports Director Chuck Freeby.
Did you two get enough rest? We're waving goodbye to the bye week for now, but we'll see it again in a few weeks. We have had 2 weeks to salivate over Notre Dame's statement win over USC. First drive of the game for the Trojans. Caleb Williams throws the ball picked off by Xavier Watts. Just his second INT of the season, and then 3 plays later, Sam Hartman connects with Jabron Payne for a quick strike to put Notre Dame in front, a lead they would not relinquish. Time winding down in the second quarter, and guess who? Xavier Watts picks off Williams again, and then Audric Estime would make the Trojans pay, this time punching it in the end zone for a 2-yard run. The Irish up 17-3. Fast forward to the fourth. And the price is right. Come on down, Jadarian Price. He takes a kickoff 99 yards to the house, and the icing on the cake would come with a scoop and score from defensive MVP Xavier Watts on a USC fumble. Notre Dame crushes Southern Cal's playoff hopes with a blowout 48-20 victory.
So I'm so proud of the way they executed. You know, they performed on both sides of the ball, and so we're going to enjoy it. We're going to enjoy it for the next couple hours, and we'll go back and study it and get back to work. So I don't have a whole bunch of words. You know, I'm just going to enjoy this one. I'm so happy to be a part of this place with this team and this university.
And after that thrilling game against the Trojans, the Irish took their first of 2 byes this season. Marcus Freeman says the team practiced last Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, with players getting a couple of days off since then. The break came off that 8-game stretch, including 4 straight primetime games. And with those days off, Freeman had the chance to watch his kid play football. One of the writers at this week's press conference, a coach for his son.
Last question. There was a Nico Freeman in that same game that had a long run that was negated by only having 1 flag on. Whose responsibility is to make sure the young man has 2 flags on?
I think it would be the guy in the huddle, which could be me, but you might be able to blame Coach Stanley on the sideline.
You're passing blame. Come on, Tim. You got to own it now.
I noticed you didn't ask about the 4th and 5th grade thrilling championship games.
Yeah, I did. I was going to finish with congratulations on your 2 championship wins yesterday. And, you know, head coaches get the credit sometimes when they deserve and don't deserve, but congrats on.
That's right. Give my man Tim O'Malley some props. He's a 2-time champion, the Irish Illustrated writer and former Countdown to Kickoff contributor. The rest is now over as the Irish preparing to take on Pitt, and that is the topic of this week's Lock Monday Auto Group Irish fan poll at WNDU.com. We're asking, who is your team MVP 2/3 of the way through the season? Your options: Sam Hartman, Mitchell Evans, Audric Estime, Xavier Watts, or someone else. Stay tuned. We'll have those results at the end of the show.
All right, let's talk a bit about Pitt, not Brad, as the Panthers of Pittsburgh come into a game desperate for a major win. The Pat Narduzzi-led team comes to South Bend with only 2 wins this season, but they have beaten the only common opponent between the two teams, Louisville. Now, while the Panthers haven't been all that impressive, and they're certainly not the most impressive team on Notre Dame's schedule so far, Freeman says he's not worried about a lack of motivation.
Our guys will be fired up. They'll be ready to roll in Notre Dame Stadium versus a team you put on the film. You say, oh, we got a lot of respect for these guys. And I don't think there will be a lack of motivation at all.
All right, so let's talk a bit more about the Panthers, as there are 3 guys on that sideline who are more than motivated for this game.
And for more on that, we welcome in the Countdown's Drew Sanders. And Drew, there's some familiar faces on the opposing sideline this week.
Yeah, Terry, and 2 of those former players have made some major impacts for the Panthers. We can start on defense with linebacker Shane Simon, who's turned into a captain for his new team. He's got 27 tackles this year and is tied for most sacks for Pitt with 3. And on the other side of the ball, you've got 2 former Irish players in Phil Dracovic and Sibo Flemister. Both of them were a part of their Wofford win. Flemister currently leads the team in rushing yards. And while tomorrow they might be enemies, the respect from both sides is mutual.
You know, obviously we know Sibo really well, and he's been running the ball really well the past couple weeks, and they have some threats on the outside. Both of those guys got their Notre Dame degree, and I'm proud of what they've done here at Notre Dame, what they're doing at Pitt, and look forward to seeing them perform on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I check in with guys every now and then, you know, kind of tell them good job. Like I said, I came in with some of those guys, and some of them came in after I left, but I mean, we're teammates, and you know, I'm always rooting for them, you know, but like I said, it'll be fun to go in and compete against them.
And we mentioned Phil Dracovic up top. We'll have plenty more about him and his career coming up a little bit later. Guys, for now, back to you.
All right, Drew, thank you. And we're going to talk to you again real soon.
Well, we are just getting started here on the Countdown. We have a story that's a cut above the rest. Joshua Short introduces you to the barber who's gained notoriety for becoming Notre Dame's unofficial team hairstylist. That sit-down interview and Josh's haircut just ahead.
And it's time for our first Chrisman Custom Painting Trivia question of the night. Through 20 games, Marcus Freeman has knocked off 5 ranked teams. Who's the only Irish football coach to defeat more in his first 20? Think about it. You'll get an answer when the countdown returns as we trim off 2 minutes.
Get 4 Arby's Classic Roast Beef Sandwiches for just $10. That's 1 for now, 1 after that, 1 to celebrate the first 2, and 1 more because that's how many 4 is. Arby's, we have the meat.
When you come home at 6, we're here for you with the news you need to know.
Covering the big stories from around Michiana and across the country.
Complete coverage and your first alert forecast.
Weeknights at 6 right here on 16 News Now.
I build Notre Dame.
I build Notre Dame.
I build Notre Dame.
We build Notre Dame.
We build Notre Dame. Then and now. Come build Notre Dame with us.
The voters of St. Joe County spoke and decided enough was enough. They saw the consequences of decades of failed leadership, how promises given and promises broken played out in their own neighborhood. And now, with Republican leadership since 2022, St. Joe County's making a comeback with billions in unprecedented economic development, new high-paying jobs, and we're just getting started. The future depends on your vote. Vote Republican.
Bruno! Bruno!
Pup on the run? No problem. With 5 drive modes, Rogue makes this a walk in the park.
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now get a low $328 per month lease on Rogue or get 0% APR financing for 36 months on the Rogue Platinum.
Get to Nissan, proud partner of Notre Dame Athletics.
At Pifer Morgan and Stasiak, we've seen the effects of distracted driving. terrible tragedies, often just to read a text.
We sue distracted drivers and get cell phone records to prove your case.
Pfeiffer, Morgan, and Stasiak, your personal injury lawyers.
Roast beef. 4 for $10. Yeah, you know. That classic Arby's. Roast beef. Roast beef. 4 for $10. Arby's. We have the meats.
Here is your Chrisman Custom Painting trivia answer.
After taking over from Frank Leahy in 1954, Terry Brennan got off to a lightning-fast start. The young Irish coach won 17 of his first 20 games, and 6 of them were against ranked opponents. That includes a win over number 4 Texas in 1954 and number 4 Navy in 1955. This next story is less about fade routes or linemen and more about fade haircuts and lineups.
I see what you did there. The Fighting Irish brand stretches far beyond South Bend, including places where professional barbers and hairdressers practice their craft.
Yeah, the Countdown's Joshua Short went to a barber shop in Mishawaka and talked to Julio Rodriguez.
Now, that's not just any barber. He's Notre Dame's barber, a title he says has deeper roots to the Fighting Irish football team than even Terry's hair follicle.
This is 26-year-old Julio Rodriguez. Chances are you know him or you've seen his, let's call it, cutting-edge work.
It's what I do every day. Like, this is what I work hard for. Luckily, I've been blessed to have these opportunities.
He's right. As one of his clients, I usually have to make appointments well in advance. Tonight, no exception, except for the rolling cameras and roaming videographer, of course.
2019, y'all opened up. Was that a goal of yours to start a shop like this?
Yeah, definitely. So before 2019, I was cutting hair at my parents' house, so I wanted to eventually open up a shop where all the best of the best would work under, you know. So I wanted to start a good little franchise and have the best, you know, best services in town.
Exclusive studios can be filled with up to 10 barbers or hairdressers at a time. But if you're in Julio's chair, don't expect to pay $20 for a cut. You get what you pay for.
When they see you and your prices, do they ever get caught off guard?
100%. I probably should take more pride in it, but it works for me, you know, and it's just like...
It's your way of living, right?
Yeah, I like to take my time on each haircut, and I don't want to rush nobody, you know. So I feel like for that price, you know, you're gonna get my full everything, you know, for 30 minutes.
If only my producer allotted 30 minutes for this interview. So for the sake of time, we'll do like my hair and trim it down to only the good stuff.
When you look around this place, you got all these framed pictures of, you got Komet, you got names like Wesley and Claypool and Montgomery. What goes through your mind?
Luckily, I've been blessed to have these opportunities to cut these big names, and I'm just rolling with it right now.
Your biggest celebrity head right now is?
I mean, I'm trending thanks to Marcus Freeman. You know, I think that's definitely one of my biggest clients and names that I cut. I got to cut Justin Fields. That was cool. That's definitely one of the biggest players right now that I would say is my biggest name for sure.
Here's the fresh lineup, if you will, of familiar faces serving up fresh cuts, compliments of Julio, who's still serving his community with a team of other barbers and hairstylists.
Did you ever have any idea you'd be where you are right now?
Not really. I mean, I knew when I opened the shop up 4 years ago that it was gonna be the best barbers in town under one spot, and I didn't think that it was gonna take off like the way it is now. But at the same time, you know, I'm just blessed that it has.
I can imagine you've cut some heads, and that was the last cut before their first prom, or that was the last cut before their first championship win. Do you ever feel fulfilled after you do a cut?
Oh yeah, all the time. You know, we don't know what these clients are going through, so make sure you give them a great service and have a great conversation, because, you know, we just never know, you know, what they got going on.
One thing we do know, Julio's definitely got it going on, and he's just starting to cut up.
Oh, looking so good. If you want to book an appointment or meet the team over at exclusive studios, we've got all of that information at WNDU.com. Just click on this story after the show.
Well, there's plenty more to get to on Countdown to Kickoff, and we'll talk more about those wide receivers.
After the break, Mike Berardino and Tom Noy from the South Bend Tribune join the Countdown to talk about who could step up from the receiving room in the final stretch of the season when we come back in 2 minutes.
Auto Park Ford continues to make buying simple with one price, one person, 1 hour. Our best price with one personal sales assistant gets you the keys in 1 hour. Experience it for yourself at Auto Park Ford today.
At Home Outlet, we help bring your ideas to life. Remodeling or building new, we're here to help you. Kitchens, baths, floors, and a whole lot more. Our Home Outlet locations across the country are full of new, quality products and at better prices, guaranteed. Come see one of our knowledgeable store partners today for help. Come see us at Home Outlet.
Hey, First Source Banker guy. Is your mobile app as helpful as you are?
It does monitor your credit score in real time.
Good start.
Provides tips to improve it.
Useful.
Helps track your spending.
Like that.
Open a checking or savings account.
So convenient.
Set travel plans.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Pay bills right from the app.
Want it.
Money transfers.
Need it.
Deposit checks.
Love it.
It's your card. Take control. First Source Bank can help.
Thanks, First Source.
While you're enjoying the big game, your best friend doesn't have to stay on the sideline. Treat your pup to a day at Bittersweet Pet Resorts. At Bittersweet, your furry friend will enjoy time outside, exercise, and luxury accommodations during their daycare or overnight stay with training and grooming available. While you cheer for your team, give your dog a day of fun at Bittersweet Pet Resorts. Sign them up today and give them a game day experience they'll never forget.
Auto Park Ford continues to make buying simple with one price, one person, 1 hour. Our best price with one personal sales assistant gets you the keys in 1 hour. Experience it for yourself at Auto Park Ford today.
Ahead of Saturday's game, Marcus Freeman called on his receiving corps to step up as they head into the end of the season.
So the question is, who's most likely to answer his call?
Mike Berardino and Tom Noy discuss in our first NDU Insiders segment of the evening.
Well, these guys didn't get a bye week, but the Irish did. So, Mike, who on the Irish benefited most from the bye?
Well, can we count the coaching staff? It seemed like those guys were pretty happy with the way they were allowed to get away from the facility just a little bit. Marty Biaggi went to Hawaii. I think after you have a guy return a kickoff for a touchdown, you get to do that. So they all seemed, Jared Parker seemed refreshed. Marcus, for certain, sounded like a guy who had really enjoyed the family time. And now you think a little more with the clarity.
Player-wise, who do you think might have done it?
Let's go with Audrey Estime. First 4 games of the year, 3 100-yard rushing games, averaged 130 yards rushing. The last 4 games, 0 100-yard rushing games, has averaged 66 yards rushing. So he was a guy, for whatever reason, wasn't used that much the middle 4 games of the season. Give him a break, let him rest up.
Well, the receiving corps also got a chance to rest some hamstrings, and Marcus Freeman talked about them needing to step up. Who do you think answers the call the most in these last 4 games from that group?
Are you reading the players to watch in the South Bend Tribune this week? Because I went with Jaden Thomas. Like, here's a guy that at the start of the season we thought he was going to be Sam Hartman's #1 guy. Hasn't happened since the Central Michigan game. 3 catches for only 40 yards. I know he was dinged by that hamstring. Marcus said he was better against Louisville than he was against Ohio State. So this home stretch, Jaden Thomas has to be Sam Hartman's go-to guy from the wide receiver spot.
I find it hard to answer this question without saying Rico Flores Jr.
Okay.
I mean, this is a guy, maybe the ascent continues. Got a chance to speak with him here this week, and what a 180 from the almost timid guy that we got to meet in the offseason, who was just happy to be here. This guy says all the right things, does all the right things on the field, and has a clear chemistry with Sam Hartman that I think you'll continue to see develop.
At Monday's press conference, you mentioned 3rd down conversions being a problem for this team. Where do you see the biggest solution to the problem?
Defense, kind of quietly, that's crept up as a problem. They're now 75th in the country on third down conversions as a defense. You know, it's hard to think after the USC performance for that defense that anything's amiss, but if they want to go from good to great, you're going to want to see them improve that.
Maybe that skews the question this way. Who has the bigger problem on third down? The offense staying on the field or the defense getting off the field?
Well, we've seen what the defense can do, and they've been good with their numbers overall this season. I'd say the offense, because it's a combination of first-year offensive coordinator, new quarterback Sam Hartman, even though he's in his 6th year, and not being able to find maybe a safety valve, a go-to guy that you can count on third down. Last year they found that. They had that in Michael Mayer. This year it's been kind of, is it going to be Mitchell Evans? Is it going to be one of the wide receivers? What about Audric Estime? So I think it's the offense and trying to find what they do well on third down, and then also who they can count on third down.
And as part of our partnership with the South Bend Tribune, we are working together on the Pot of Gold podcast. You can find that everywhere you get podcasts and on our YouTube channel at 16 News Now.
Hey, Irish fans are ready to pack Notre Dame Stadium this weekend after an idle week for the blue and gold. Up next, George Mallet checks in with fans in this week's Buzz Around Campus.
Hut, hike into your neighborhood Martin's supermarkets for the best tailgate tastes in Michiana. Deli Fresh subs, Martin's famous fried chicken, veggie trays, wraps, dips, and much more. Also, get delicious bakery items to satisfy your tailgate sweet tooth. Order online at martins-supermarkets.com or stop in your neighborhood Martin's Deli. Everything you need to get game day ready is at your neighborhood Martin's supermarkets.
Hey, look, it's this guy again. That means football season has arrived, and it's time to celebrate good games with great people all season long at Wings Etc. Wings Etc. is the only place to watch the big game on our big screen TVs while you toss back our jumbo wings with an ice-cold, tall domestic schooner. Or if you're in a pinch, call an audible and order our award-winning lineup of food to go. It's game on all season long only at Wings Etc.
The power goes out, and we still have Wi-Fi to do our homework. And that's a good thing? Great in my book. Who are you?
No power? No problem. Introducing Storm-Ready Wi-Fi. With the all-new internet plan only from Xfinity, get speeds over a gig plus Storm-Ready Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi boost guarantee. All on the Xfinity 10G network. It's everything you need for one simple price of $50 a month when you add mobile. Switch today.
We invite you to shape your career at Modern-Ear. We are looking for general production, press operators, welders, and more. We believe that the success of Modern-Ear rests on the performance of quality people. With high and competitive starting wages, attendance bonuses, and shift bonuses, you will shape a strong career. Over 80 years strong, and we hire our team members directly and have never had any seasonal layoffs. Starting salary based on qualifications, but no experience is necessary. Now is the time to shape your career at Modern-Ear.
People everywhere are binge watching Lake City Bank Digital.
Look at this account action.
Where you can track your spending.
You spent that much last month, right?
No, that's yesterday.
Monitor your cash flow.
Good news. We can afford a company fitness room.
And set savings goals.
Cat Cruise, here we come.
Oh, don't you be grumpy.
Watch new episodes of Your Money unfold every day. Now streaming on Lake City Bank Digital.
Earlier in the show, we introduced you to the man known as Notre Dame's barber, and we're keeping with the hair theme for this next story.
I think we should. You may have noticed the guy under center for the Irish has a bit of a new look.
Yeah, what do fans have to say about it? The countdown's George Mallet finds out in this week's Buzz Around Campus.
My assignment was to hit the street and talk football with the populace. But breaking news trumped football news when this reporter was handed hastily printed photographic evidence that Sam Hartman is now fully clean-shaven. No surprise, multiple moms love the babyface look.
He looks like a college student. He looks wholesome. Who doesn't love that face when you can see it?
Some fans asked aloud, how old is that picture?
There were even some people who were totally unable to recognize our starting quarterback. That's Sam Hartman. That's our quarterback.
Okay, yeah, that's more recognizable. Absolutely, that's more recognizable. That makes more sense.
Benjamin Smith, do you recognize the man on the right?
No, I don't.
You know, when I first saw this picture, I didn't recognize him either. That's our quarterback.
Notre Dame's quarterback?
Yeah, without a beard. Weird, huh?
He looks a lot different.
I know.
It's been said that a beard has a way of softening a man, turning his face into something tactile. Perhaps shaving has the opposite impact, making a quarterback all that much tougher. For Countdown to Kickoff, I'm George Mallet.
I don't know if I like it or not. Okay, while the fans get ready to rock Notre Dame Stadium, they'll be led by a leprechaun who's making history. Meet Kylie Kaczynski. She'll be suiting up as the leprechaun on the sidelines at Notre Dame Stadium when the Irish battle Pitt. She is the first woman ever to lead the cheers in Notre Dame Stadium. There have been 4 female leprechauns in Notre Dame's history, with Lynette Wookie being the first to wear the iconic costume back in 2019. We caught up with the cheerleading coach for ND, who's more than confident that Kylie is ready for the moment Saturday.
Kylie in general she was a really strong candidate. She came in going into her senior year, so I think she was really clear in her mission and what she wanted and how she could be an asset to the group as a whole. And this was Kylie's game as her senior year to be able to portray the role, and I think it's really special, and I know she's really looking forward to it.
What an honor. The leprechaun became the university's official mascot in 1965, and according to The Observer, there have been 67 leprechauns over the years.
Well, you see the forecast behind me. It is one of those forecasts that makes you think Notre Dame football and fall, especially if you're heading out to campus. We're reaching peak colors across Michiana with the trees. So you got the reds, the yellows, the oranges. You also have the pumpkins as well. That kickoff set for 3:30, 53 degrees, wind from the north at about 4 to 8, 51 degrees by the fourth quarter. Average high this time of year is right there. Average fall day for some Notre Dame football. Go Irish.
It's halftime on the countdown, and we're heading to the locker room to finish strong.
We're going to do some quick hits right after this.
Get 4 Arby's Classic Roast Beef Sandwiches for just $10. That's 1 for now, 1 after that, 1 to celebrate the first 2, and 1 more because that's how many 4 is. Arby's, we have the meats.
The news changes constantly, but we'll help you keep up.
Weeknights at 11, get the breaking news and the day's top stories.
Plus, tomorrow's first alert forecast, so you can plan ahead.
Join us weeknights at 11 right here on 16 News Now.
Right now, at any Monteith's Best One location, take advantage of their fall service special. It's a Valvoline full synthetic oil change for just $29.95. That's right, just $29.95 plus tax for a Valvoline full synthetic oil change. Up to 5 quarts, some restrictions apply. Offer expires October 31st. Visit MonteithTire.com or stop into any Monteith's Best One location for details. Monteith's Best One Tire and Auto Care. Selling tires, serving people.
Hey Ryan, what brings you in today?
Hey Joe, I want to be a part of the First Aid Bank team. I protect the goal for Notre Dame, just like First Aid Bank protects the financial goals of the people of Michiana.
Our customers have goals too, like buying a new home or sending their kids to college. First Aid Bank is here to help them achieve those goals.
Careful, Joe. Here comes the biscuit.
Great save, Ryan.
Time for a celly. Should we go tarps off?
Let's leave the tarps on.
If you're involved in an accident and are suddenly faced with unexpected bills, what can you do?
The insurance company wants to settle fast and settle cheap.
Call us today and find out what your case is really worth.
Pfeiffer, Morgan, and Stasiak, your personal injury lawyers.
The house before you, over 30 years old, still has its original windows. Bone
Folks, there's no need to be afraid of old windows.
Right now, buy one window and you'll get one free. Plus, no interest for 1 year.
Buy one window, get one free ends Halloween. Hurry. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Roast beef. 4 for $10. Yeah, you know. That classic Arby's. Roast beef. Roast beef. 4 for $10. Arby's. We have the meats.
From the WNDU studios, this is 16 News Now's Countdown to Kickoff.
And we kick off the second half of our show now with some quick hits. And let's start with the amazing saga of Xavier Watts. He comes off one of the best defensive games we've ever seen at the stadium. 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. And it is made all the more impressive because when the Irish recruited Watts out of Burke High School in Omaha, Nebraska, he was a 4-star wide receiver. Now, he did get some experience in the secondary there, and he was constantly getting pushed by his high school coaches to do more.
Xavier's got to get better, just like everybody else. He can't stay the same. We're coaching Xavier harder than we've ever coached him before, because he's got to come in with a new mentality and new slate. And I think he's ready to do that. But he brings a lot to the table.
Just came every day. Just tried to work. Just got to get better at my craft every day. Just got to be the best player I could be.
Notre Dame's offensive line already has an NIL deal with Mission Barbecue, but maybe the starters should get one with 5 guys. After the shakeups of the rotation during the Louisville game, Marcus Freeman and offensive line coach Joe Rudolph seem to have gone back to the comfort food that is the original starting lineup with center Zeke Correll, guards Rocco Spindler and Pat Coogan, and tackles Blake Fisher and Joe Alt.
Obviously, as you start with new guys playing there, there's a confidence level and a trust level, and I think that is there, and it's in-game experience, and that's been there. I think now just individually, everyone's just building confidence in their own ability, like something that they had to work on. They're really taking to heart, and they're putting that extra work in. And I think everyone's like, we always put one thing on the board and then run to the pass, and I see guys taking the time to work on those things, and then you see it in game, and you're like, wow, like. The effort put in is now showing up on the field, in practice, in game. I think that's been the biggest step we've taken.
The Steelers and Pitt play in the same stadium. Both teams rely on tough defenses as their identities. Pat Narduzzi's defense ranks 26th in total defense, allowing just over 321 yards per game. Right in front of them, Duke at 24, Louisville at 25. 2 teams that gave the Irish trouble putting up points earlier this season. Now, stopping Dayon Hayes is going to be key for the Irish. He started every game this season for the Panthers, giving opponents problems on the D-line. Samuel Okonkwo has come on lately in limited action. He stripped Jack Plummer on a screenplay in their upset win over Louisville a few weeks ago.
Definitely a good team, and they're going to fit hard with their safeties and their linebackers. And they got a good defensive line, good front seven. So for us, it's watching the film, watching what they do different from team to team, and being able to attack that in the ways we want to attack that, and drill that in the way we want to drill that, and go forward. And I think that's been the biggest thing, is just understanding their strengths and being able to work on those in practice and individuals and then in the team.
It's been quite the journey for a face Irish fans are familiar with here in South Bend, Phil Jurkovec. In fact, the 6th-year college quarterback has been around the game as long as Sam Hartman. Jurkovec started his career at Notre Dame before transferring to Boston College, where he spent the last 3 seasons, spending his final year of eligibility at Pitt. It's been an up-and-down stretch, going 1-4 in games he's played in this season. Now Sports Illustrated reports Jurkovec is working out with the tight ends. Will he see the field tomorrow afternoon?
That's not for me to decide what he's doing, but he's, he wants to play a little bit over there, and he's still doesn't have a position change, but he's played on kickoff return, he's on the punt team. He'll play anything. At least go wherever we can get him in.
Now, since the turn of the century, Pitt and Notre Dame have played each other 14 times. 10 of those games were separated by only 1 score. Notre Dame has won the last 3 matchups dating back to 2015. Pitt's coach assessing what he's seen from the Notre Dame quarterback.
Pro-style offense, he's actually huddling up and taking snaps under center. So you've seen him progress to more of a, if he's going to play in the NFL, it's going to have to be in that type of offense, and not what they're doing at Wake Forest. So, I think he's probably enjoying it just because, I think it's every, childhood kid's dream to play in the National Football League, and he's going to have an opportunity just by being able to, make run checks, sit underneath the center, and do all the things that they ask him to do there. I think he'll have obviously a better opportunity, in that atmosphere and circumstances.
A bye week has given the team more time to get healthy, as we show you in this week's Irish injury report. Junior wide receiver Deion Colsey still out for tomorrow. He's recovering from arthroscopic knee surgery. And you won't see them on the report because receivers Jaden Thomas and Jaden Greathouse are finally as close to fully healthy as they've been all year, according to Marcus Freeman. Now, through the first 4 weeks of the season, the Notre Dame offense, that was a fireworks show. But recently, that side of the ball, it's looking more like a sparkler.
Oh, yeah, and we welcome in the Countdown's Drew Sanders for an assessment of where the team's offense stands coming out of their first bye week. Drew, what have you noticed?
Well, guys, it's certainly fair to say that the team's scoring punch has been more of a jab than a haymaker over the last month or so. It's been effective at times, but not really the knockout blow that we got used to seeing in the first few weeks. Now, it doesn't take a scheduling expert or a college football know-it-all to recognize that the Irish have faced much stiffer competition in those games. In fact, their last 4 matchups each came against teams that were top 25 in the country when they faced ND. But offensive coordinator Jarrett Parker says regardless of who they match up against, he and his offense could be better, and they're working to reach that potential during this last stretch of games.
For me, I mean, we're constantly evaluating. I think you go back and look at what we've done, you look at the tendencies, you look at everything we across the board. You look at what you've done well, and you look at what you got to grow in, and our guys know it. We're taking the right steps. These 4 games, we want to really grow and get better, and we want to look good doing it. We want to play hard, be penalty-free, and have that be our reflection of who we are. That's who our guys are. You know, those guys embrace that. I thought they embraced that in the SC game, and it's how we're going to have to finish this thing to put this thing where we want it to be at the end of the year.
This team was at a 40-plus point per game pace over the first month of the season, but in the games since, that average has dropped down to around 25. Parker told us the bye week was a helpful chance to get refreshed for this last stretch of the season. We'll see if those offensive schemes have been refreshed as well. Guys, back to you.
All right, Drew Sanders in the studio for us. Drew, thank you very much.
And now let's go outside the lines for a little color commentary. Fall colors are at their peak right now. I met up with Tim Disco, the Director of Landscape Services at the University of Notre Dame. He's also a certified arborist. I asked him what trees are responsible for the brilliant color show.
Usually the leaves that start changing the first are the maple trees. A lot of your reds, your yellows. The walnut trees will change before the maple trees, and they're not so pretty, but once those maple trees start turning, it really catches your eye here at Notre Dame. So coming down Notre Dame Avenue, that is predominantly all maple trees through there. So that really gets to be a beautiful shot, especially on the sunny days. In our tree database, we have over 7,000 trees that are documented across campus. So from oaks to maples to some unique trees that aren't necessarily native, but they're just gorgeous to have on campus. Tulip trees, walnut trees. We do have ash trees. So I know a lot of ash trees were wiped out when the bug came through. We're able to hang on to about 34 of those. So those are the autumn purple ash that you see in front of DeBartolo. But I've always had a love for trees. I think it just, without trees, I can't imagine campus without them. Campus is so special. And we have a lot of different trees across campus. And it just, it makes Notre Dame what it is.
Things never look better. And all those beautiful leaves, well, as you know, they eventually fall to the ground. The landscape services team takes care of all of them. They use blowers and vacuums to collect the leaves. They're then turned into compost and eventually mixed with soil that's used on campus.
If they need more, they can come to Rancho Freeby.
Right? Isn't it beautiful? So much work is done every single day. A shout out to that team.
And just to think, this weekend, it's going to be the most, at its most brilliant peak.
At its peak right now, so enjoy. Take lots of pictures.
There you go.
Still to come, we're talking hoops with the new head man of Notre Dame basketball, how Micah Shrewsberry is getting ready for his first season and more in our sit-down interview. But first, here's our Crispin Custom Painting Trivia Test. Notre Dame ranked 3rd in red zone defense this season. What do you think they were ranked in that category last season? The answer when the countdown returns in 2 minutes.
Hut, hike into your neighborhood Martin's supermarkets for the best tailgate tastes in Michiana. Deli Fresh subs, Martin's famous fried chicken, veggie trays, wraps, dips, and much more. Also, get delicious bakery items to satisfy your tailgate sweet tooth. Order online at martins-supermarkets.com or stop in your neighborhood Martin's Deli. Everything you need to get game day ready is at your neighborhood Martin's supermarkets.
At Inova Federal, we value freedom. The freedom to work and raise your family in a safe and supportive community. At Inova, we also want to help you achieve financial freedom. At Inova, that freedom is always within reach. Locally grown, Inova has deep roots and a history of serving our community for over 80 years. Next level, personalized service by experts you can trust and industry-leading banking technology enable us to find every way possible to save you money. Visit us at innovafederal.org and find out how your financial freedom is always within reach.
We invite you to shape your career at Modenier. We are looking for general production, press operators, welders, and more. We believe that the success of Modenier rests on the performance of quality people. With high and competitive starting wages, attendance bonuses, and shift bonuses, you will shape a strong career. Over 80 years strong, and we hire our team members directly and have never had any seasonal layoffs. Starting salary based on qualifications, but no experience is necessary. Now is the time to shape your career at Modenier.
Save big money with these hot deals at Menards. All prices after 11% rebate. There's still time to finish your fencing project. Dog-eared pickets are $189 each. A 2-pack of LED flame bulbs is $6.99. Clean up! A 2-pack of drain snakes is only 99 cents. And paper towel rolls are just 67 cents each. Shower in savings. The shower head is only $9.99. These hot deals won't last long. Hurry before time runs out.
Save big money at Menards.
Here is your Crispin Custom Painting trivia answer.
The red zone was a red carpet for the Irish defense a year ago, as Notre Dame was ranked 130th out of 131 teams. In fact, the Irish were dead last in red zone touchdowns allowed. But this year, Al Golden's defense has allowed just 16 scores in 25 red zone attempts, and only 9 of those are touchdowns. 20 years ago, he was the head coach of IUSB basketball, but instead of straight up Twickenham, Micah Shrewsberry took a long and winding road to Notre Dame, but he's here now as the head men's basketball coach, and he's here now on Countdown. Could you have envisioned this 20 years ago?
I couldn't have. Yeah, I was just, really focused on what I could do and try and help IUSB be the best program that it could be. But at the same time, this Notre Dame sitting right up the street. And never in my mind did I think, hey, 20 years from now, you'll probably be coaching here. It's, just a wild dream and a wild journey. But now it's happened.
We were talking before the interview. You know where everything is because you come back to town. You also have a couple local players who can help you show you around in Marcus Burton from Penn, J.R. Konechny from St. Joe. What are their roles on this team?
I think both guys. J.R. has wanted an opportunity, and now he's going to get a chance to play for us, and he's going to get a chance to help us. He has such great energy, the way he plays, how hard he plays, his ability to cut. He's going to do some good things for us, and I think you can see the joy in his face while he's playing. Marcus is just a fantastic player. His speed, his ability to get into the paint, his ability to score. We don't want to limit what he does. We want him to be himself. We want him to be aggressive, which is going to help open up things for everybody else.
You have had to gather an assortment of players to put them together. You didn't open up the cupboard and see it stacked. You had maybe a couple of boxes of saltines or something in there. So you've had to really put together this roster. What kind of styles should fans expect from your team this year?
I think we want to lay the foundation for this program now and into the future. If you know anything about me, toughness is going to be right at the start. Competitiveness. I think you'll see our teams play like that. That's one thing from the summer all the way up to now is we fight and compete on a daily basis, right? Sometimes I got to hold them back because we got to get to the season, but you're going to see this team compete. You're going to see them fight. You're going to see them play extremely hard. And I hope, the fans walk out the door and say, this is a team I want to come back and cheer for again because of how we play.
So I imagine when the ACC media picks you to finish last in the league, that's a bit of a chip on the shoulder. How much of a motivator do you think that is for your team?
They picked us last? I didn't see that.
Yeah, nice try.
Yeah. For us, we set our own expectations, right? I don't try and hold myself up to anybody else's expectations but the ones that I set for myself and our team. And that's it. That's all we care about, right? Like, we'll have a chance to prove people wrong. We kind of relish this underdog role because we have a team. Like we said, we got a team of fighters. We got a team of tough guys. You know, if you ask me, I said it media day. Like, I've been an underdog my whole life, been counted out my whole life. I'm sure Marcus Burton will say the same exact thing. I'm sure, you know, JR and Matt Zona and guys that have been here and haven't gotten an opportunity will say the same thing. And even some of our freshmen that are coming in new, they're fired up for the chance to kind of prove people wrong.
I'll tell you what, I'm fired up to see your team play. I can't wait. And the first opportunity is Wednesday night. It's an exhibition game against Hanover. And then the regular season begins on November 6th when the screaming Purple Eagles of Niagara come into the Purcell Pavilion. So, Micah, thanks a lot. Best of luck to you this year.
Thank you so much.
Micah Shrewsberry, the head basketball coach of Notre Dame. Countdown returns after this.
I build Notre Dame.
I build Notre Dame.
I build Notre Dame.
We build Notre Dame.
We build Notre Dame. Then and now. Come build Notre Dame with us.
Service is important to us because, as you said, we started there and we were in service first, and then we were able to go into sales. Anybody can sell, not everybody can service. It's a good feeling to know that we're still doing what we started doing, only we're doing it better and sometimes a lot faster even. And this is how we got to 50 years.
We got it, Bob Miller's.
2700 South Main, South Bend.
Bruno! Bruno!
Pup on the run? No problem. With 5 drive modes, Rogue makes this a walk in the park.
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now get a low $328 per month lease on Rogue or get 0% APR financing for 36 months on the Rogue Platinum.
Get to Nissan, proud partner of Notre Dame Athletics.
Your patio's beautiful. Who created this amazing design?
Fagley.
Your swimming pool is absolutely gorgeous. We called Fagley.
John, your fire pit and outdoor kitchen are fantastic. Who did the installation?
Fagley Landscape.
Many questions, always the same answer. Fagley Landscape, bringing you personalized designs and old-world craftsmanship for retaining walls, brick patios, swimming pools, outdoor kitchens, and water features. Make the most of your outdoor living space and call the certified Unilock installers at Fagley Landscape today.
It pushes you out of bed, up a mountain, off the high dive. It pulls up your bootstraps, keeps its eye on the prize. It embraces that change will always come, and that the road to success looks different for everyone. It's a doer, a driver, the catalyst of dreams. It's called confidence, and confidence changes everything. Everyone deserves financial confidence. That's why Teachers Credit Union is now Everwise, a new name. The same people powering your dreams.
Before you face the weather out here, your First Alert weather team is tracking it here, keeping an eye on every weather change, big or small. Because getting your First Alert before you head out here can make all the difference. This is why we First Alert.
Back inside the countdown, time to reveal how fans voted in this week's Lock Monday Auto Group Irish fan poll at WNDU.com. We asked Irish fans, who's your team MVP 2/3 of the way through the season? The fans say it's a two-man race. 42% of you say it's Sam Hartman, but only with the beard. Audric Estime gets 40%. You know what? Xavier Watts, he was electric against USC.
Yes.
You could say he was kilowatts against Caleb Williams. He only got 7%. As always, thanks for participating in this week's Lock Monday Auto Group Irish fan poll. Be sure to watch Countdown during the season for more fan polls and bad jokes like those. As we talked about earlier, Pitt's got a new man at quarterback after benching Phil Jurkovec.
So what does he bring to the table for the Panthers?
Oh, that's where we pick up the discussion in our second NDU Insiders Report of the night.
We closed the first half of our conversation with stats. We might as well pick up the second half of our conversation with stats. And on the positive side, The red zone defense for Notre Dame last year was 130th in the country, and they're now 3rd. How have they done it, Tom?
4 defensive coordinators in 4 years. Mike Elko, Clark Lee, Marcus Freeman, Al Golden. Al Golden finally comes back for his 2nd year. I think the fact that you have the same defensive coordinator in that spot with his scheme, knowing his personnel better, and then having veteran guys on all 3 levels, whether it's Howard Cross, J.D. Bertrand, Maris Leofau, and Jack Heiser at linebacker, or DJ Brown at safety. I think we're finally seeing what Al Golden can do as a defensive coordinator.
I think one of the newcomers deserves a mention here. Al Golden himself brought up Max Bulla, the graduate assistant. He said Max has done a great job in kind of taking those red zone situations and the film study, and of course he's down there on the field, building the confidence, reminding them what works, what to expect. And so much of that snowballs, right? Early last year it was an issue, and we kept asking about it. When you're asking about how things are going right, and Max Bulla can remind him what worked last week, what can work next week, he deserves a mention too.
A name to keep in mind if the coaching carousel starts in the offseason. Now, Pitt may not challenge that Irish defense all that much, but they do have a new quarterback in Christian Veillere. What does he bring to the table?
Phil Jurkovec probably wasn't going to respond because of the pressure and the buildup of he was at Notre Dame, and then he badmouthed him when he was at Boston College, and now he's a tight end or a defensive end or whatever they're doing with Phil Jurkovec. With Veillere, he's just going to go out and wing it and see, like, there's no pressure on him, and maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that, and maybe he can cause some problems for that Notre Dame defense.
The strength of Pitt's teams has traditionally been defense, especially under Pat Narduzzi. How do they muck it up for the Irish on Saturday?
Well, Jared Parker said that on Tuesday too. He said, we know exactly what Pittsburgh is going to do. It's going to be a street fight. They're going to grind it, and there's only one way in and one way out for us offensively, and that's to be gritty and tough and just go after them. So it may not be aesthetically easy on the eyes against a team like Pittsburgh, but you just have to stick with it and know you're too talented offensively not to pop a few big plays.
They do get a lot of pressure, though.
That's their MO. It has been, regardless of who the cast of characters. Shane Simon, old friend now at Pitt, is tied for the team lead in sacks as a linebacker. They're going to send blitzing. They're going to send extra guys. They're going to try to beat an Irish line that has not always given Sam Hartman the clean pocket, but still, overall, it's going to be tough for a team that's 108th in tackling. So all the grief we've given Notre Dame about its tackling issues, Pitt has more.
Score prediction.
31-13 Notre Dame. I think the muck it up term was yours. I think that'll be around for a while, maybe mid through, maybe even to halftime. But in the end, too much talent on the Notre Dame side.
Tom?
38-13 Notre Dame. Other than the beard, which is now gone, Sam Hartman looks a lot more like he did the first 4 games on Saturday than he did the last 4 games.
Hey, we're coming to the end of the countdown, and we've saved our best for last.
What Notre Dame needs to do to win against those Pitt Panthers, and some score predictions when the countdown continues in just 2 minutes.
Wait, hold up. DQ put fries and onion rings in a chicken strip basket? Did you know this? Oh, of course you did. It's sitting right in front of you. Sorry. I mean, you got fries and onion rings together. Is this for real?
Hey, baby, wait.
Oh, yeah. That just got really real. Grab a chicken strip and fry rings basket.
Okay, just one. Just one.
DQ, happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Choosing the right windows can be overwhelming. Creating the right look that best fits your lifestyle and character of your home is why homeowners choose Hannaful. For 22 years running, builders have used Andersen windows more than any other brand. If you are looking to update your current home or considering new construction, choose Hannaful for your Andersen windows and doors. Our team will help you create the look and feel you want so you can enjoy life's special moments at home. Visit one of the Hannaful showrooms near you.
Here's what's on tonight starting at 8 on Channel 16. Then stay tuned for 16 News Now. Tonight's primetime lineup is sponsored by your Platinum Chevy dealers. Save big on the 2023 Chevy Silverado. Visit PlatinumChevyDealers.com.
If you have questions about your car, truck, or motorcycle case, the consultation is free.
And you owe us no attorney's fees unless we're successful.
Pfeiffer, Morgan, and Stasiak, your personal injury lawyers.
The voters of St. Joe County spoke and decided enough was enough. They saw the consequences of decades of failed leadership. How promises given and promises broken played out in their own neighborhood. And now, with Republican leadership since 2022, St. Joe County's making a comeback with billions in unprecedented economic development, new high-paying jobs, and we're just getting started. The future depends on your vote. Vote Republican.
It's time for our keys to the game, brought to you by Dairy Queen. Happy tastes good.
Little marketing idea for the folks at Dairy Queen. Fans should get a DQ stack burger for every sack burger that the Irish serve up during this game. This is gold, Dairy Queen, gold.
Okay, thank you, Chuck. Drew Sanders, we're going to start with you now. Who is your X factor for the Irish?
Guys, I'm getting hungry over here, and I'm going with a running back who should be hungry this weekend in Jadarian Price, one of the many talented running backs that Notre Dame has in their stable. But it's not just the rushing ability that's got me intrigued. With Audric Estime and Jeremiah Love pretty much cornering the market on reps out of the backfield lately, Price was able to put his stamp on the team's last game against USC with a 99-yard kickoff return touchdown. He's an explosive playmaker on a team that really lacks a big play threat. I think it'd be wise to scheme up more ways to get him the ball in these last 4 games, and of course that starts on Saturday.
Drew, thanks a lot. Chuck, your X factor.
When I play golf, Mac, I yell 4 when I hit a shot. When the Irish take a shot down the field today, they should do the same. In a year of maddening inconsistency at the wide receiver position, you know, one play a game, Chris Tyree is going to deliver. The man is averaging 22 yards per catch. He's got 3 touchdowns. Notre Dame talks about 4 for 40 with recruits. I think 4 could go for at least 40 on a couple of big plays Saturday.
All right, keys to win. Drew, what's it going to take for the Irish to come out on top tomorrow?
Well, I'll shift from the offensive side of the ball to the defense. My key to this win this week is creating havoc on the defensive side of the ball. Notre Dame has been doing really well in the turnover department this year, forcing them out of opposing teams while keeping their own noses relatively clean. The onus is on the defense this week to generate some takeaways, because we saw how easy that made life for the offense against USC. Let's get some more of that this weekend as they take on the Pitt Panthers.
If you're going to hit those deep shots I just talked about, the quarterback has to have time to throw. That's easier said than done against a Pitt defense that likes to bring pressure. They've had over 50 sacks the last 4 seasons. So the Irish offensive line has to keep Sam Hartman upright. They can't be Swiss cheese. They have to be Gouda.
Oh, really? Gouda? Yeah. All right, so that brings us to the final score predictions. All dad jokes aside. Drew, who do you have?
Yeah, let's get serious for a second. After a quick pit stop, this Irish team comes out ready to stop Pitt. We saw what they did to the reigning Heisman Trophy winner just before the bye. I think it's another dominant defensive game that the Irish win. This time, give me 30-13, the final score.
All right, thank you, Drew. Let's hope the bye week was like an extra study hall for fixing turnovers. Pitt likes to play spoiler, but that's not happening this weekend. I say 38-17, Notre Dame.
All right, I'm being the eternal optimist here.
Coach Sunshine.
You?
Once again, I see offensive futility on both sides.
Really?
Notre Dame wins 21-10.
Okay. Years of Lions football.
Yeah, it's poisoned me.
Well, I was going to go with 31-10 Notre Dame, but my man here is celebrating his 30th anniversary at WNDU. So I've got to go with 30-10 Notre Dame. Congratulations on 30 years at WNDU.
Thank you. Actually, it's 35. Remember, I did a hitch from 1982 to 87.
Sorry,
and I was the weekend sports anchor. And guess who took my place? Yes, you're welcome.
Thank goodness you left.
I would have a career for
unemployed.
You. Yes.
Instead, I'm saying thank you for watching this edition of Countdown to Kickoff. Look at that pose. The Irish return to action tomorrow against Pittsburgh right here on WNDU. Kickoff set for 3:30. We'll have highlights and post-game reaction on 16 News Now at 11. For Drew, Tricia, 30-year Terry, and our entire crew, Chuck Freeby saying so long from South Bend.